Good morning, Flosstube. It is Elizabeth, aka Running Stitch, back for an update. It has been a while. I did not intend for it to be this long. Life has just been a little busy. Just had some things going on, and given the fact that I just need to be in the right mindset to sit down and do this, I just wasn't there. So here I am today. There's been a lot going on. I've got a lot of stitching progress to show you. I'm not going to do any editing to this, so there's not going to be any before afters. You're just going to get to see where I am now on things. I have some things I need to do around the house today, and don't really want to use that time editing a video. So we're going to get all this done in one clip, and that should be good. This is actually take two. I did this yesterday, and my video ended up being like 38 minutes long. And when I went to put it on the computer last night at like 10:45, I noticed that like the last 10-12 minutes of the video was gone. I got about 2/3 of the way through my whips, and then it just cut off. So, and I wasn't about to refilm it last night because it was so late. And the reason it was so late that I discovered this is because uploading things onto YouTube like literally sucks our bandwidth dry. So last time I uploaded a video, I started it like in the afternoon on the weekend, and my husband was less than thrilled when our TV was slow because we have Hulu and Netflix. We don't have satellite TV anymore. And like all of his apps on his phone were slow, so he has requested that I upload all of these at night. So
yeah, the jerk.
Yeah. Okay, so life's been a little crazy. I ran my 4th marathon 2 weeks ago, and I have not run since. I got really burned out a couple of weeks before the race. There was a lot going on life-wise, but I just lost my luster for running, so have not done that for a couple of weeks, and I've been totally fine with it. I have thrown myself into stitching, which you all are going to be very thankful for. I have a finish to show you. If you follow me on Instagram, running.stitch18, you've probably seen it, but I will post it up here on Flosstube for those of you who are not on Instagram. And I have a few whips to show you, and I have a stitch along to talk about, and I have some acquisitions. So yeah, let's get started. First off, we've got Feather Fairy. This is my finish. Feather Fairy by Mirabilia. You saw my progress on her on Instagram. Some of you followed her really closely. It was really neat to see your comments and your support and motivational feedback, but here she is in her glory. Give some close-up shots. There are a couple of changes that I made, one voluntarily, and actually 2 voluntarily and 2 inadvertently. So I put some little hair tendrils there on the nape of her neck just to kind of soften her a little bit, and I thought that that was really cute. And then down here on the green feather, those really light areas, I used a blend of a couple of threads because I think it transitioned the colors nicer. So those were the 2 changes I made of my own. And then there's a couple of feathers where my counting got off, so I did have to fudge a little bit to make those look fine. I did do 2/2 skin as charted. This design became a bit of a product stitch instead of process, which is fine, but I was just not in the mood to dive into the 1/1 skin. So she looks fine as originally charted, and that is that. So if you are interested in doing this design, please be aware that she's a lot bigger than we thought. So when it comes to the Krennic, you will need 2 spools of that. I believe I said that in my last video, but just as a reminder, I use 2 spools of each of those Krennic colors, the light blue and then that light like sea glass color. I know everyone's yardage varies, and I'm definitely not wasteful with specialty thread, but I ended up needing 2. So file that away if you want to do this one someday. She was a fun stitch. She works up pretty quickly, but I was pretty monogamous with her, so she worked up pretty quickly. But she's on 32 count Belfast in the color Haunted by Picture This Plus. So if you're interested in what that fabric is, there you go. And yeah, I'm excited to get her framed. My middle child has claimed her already, so I need to get her framed for her bedroom. All right, so I've got 5 other whips to show. So last time I spoke, I had said that I had finishing goals for 2020, and then a couple days after that, posted on social media some expanded finishing goals for 2020. So I've chosen 9 projects to really focus on and get done. And I'm excited to say that I've really stuck to that plan. So I did have one full coverage Heaven and Earth design that I kind of sprinkled a couple days in there just to break it up a little bit. But for the most part, I have stayed with what I want to do. So let's see. I have gotten a ton of work done on my chatelaine. You will have seen this all over Instagram. Here it is currently. So you can see I've now moved down to the bottom half of the design. This actually moves along at a pretty good pace. If I can sit down and get a good chunk of time to work on it, it moves pretty quickly. So those center palaces, the the north, east, and west ones that I have done, if I can get like a good couple of days to really sit down and focus, then those take just about 2.5 days to do. It's not bad. It's those corners that take a while. Like each section of that corner will take about a week to do. That's where a lot of the detail is in this project. So the east and west sections here don't get rolled up in the scroll frame. So I went ahead and did some beading. But yeah, other than that, I have a goal set for the end of June. I think I could probably get this done by the end of June. It was going to be the end of April, but I'm going to be starting a new project with Stephanie, Miss Oh So Crafty, for a stitch along at the end of this month going through April. So I'm going to push my goal off for Persian Iris Garden here till the end of June, because I think I should be able to do that. That gives me all of May, all of June. So barring whatever life kind of throws at me during that time, I should be able to get it done. Fabric on this one's just 32 count white, antique white Belfast. Came with the kit when I ordered it. Pretty basic. So there is Persian Iris Garden in all of its sparkly glory. All right. Let's see. How did I have this one? And it appears Sorry, it appears my in-laws have called on the phone, so I'm not sure what you're gonna hear in the back. Okay. Let me finish what I've actually worked on goal-wise, and then I can show you my heaven and earth design that I kind of sprinkled in a little bit. So I have a couple of small projects that I will take to
no more than 250 people.
Work with.
And they have 2 masters.
Okay, sorry. In-laws called. Do your parents or in-laws, if you still have them with you, do they do that? Do they have the most impeccable timing in the world? Yep, mine do. Mine definitely do. Love them, but yeah. Okay. I have 2 small projects that I will take to work with me, and I will work on them either during my long lunch or my back-to-back planning period that I have on Friday afternoons. I, being an art teacher, do not really have a challenging curriculum or lesson plan expectations, so I get quite a bit of free time during the week, which I'm definitely not going to complain about. So I will take a couple of things to work on. I have some little Mill Hill Santa kits stashed in my desk drawer. Yeah. But anyway, one of those smalls is my last mini chatelaine mandala. So let me grab the other 2 that are over here. Sorry. So if you're familiar with this series, this is the first one. This is the 3rd one. And then here's the 2nd one. So that's that. One thing that kind of keeps me from making some good progress on this at work is the Algerian eyelets are really challenging to do one-handed. So I will put this in my Q-snap, but I'm not gonna take my lap stand to work with me. That's too much. So when I put this in the Q-snap, you know, I kind of have to like finagle how I sit at my desk with it, and stitching Algerian eyelets one-handed is no easy feat. So I got a little frustrated and I kind of put this one away for a bit, but when I get back to it here at home, it really shouldn't take too long to finish up. So last mini chatelaine, these are desperately needing to get done. I've had them as whips for quite a while, and I'd actually like to have them on my wall. So the other small project is my Outlander bookmark. This is a pattern by House Self Stitchery on Etsy, and this one's been sitting around for a while too. I have read the whole book series a couple of times, and I've kept up with the show, and it's been a while since I've read the books, so I would like to get back in and reread the series, but I'm not going to do that until after this season is done, because I just don't want to get things all jumbled up in my head. But this project now has a little bit of relevance again, so it needs to get done. I really don't like putting things in a UFO pile and never finishing it. I just don't like. If there's a way I can finish it, then I don't really have an excuse. So nothing's messed up on it, you know, it's cute, it's small, so there's really no reason why I shouldn't be able to get this done. So I'm kind of tossing around 2 ideas for the border. One of those is doing like putting some lace around the edge, and then the other idea I had was to secure around the stitching and then let the linen kind of fray. So I think I'm leaning more towards the lace idea, but who knows, things could change by the time I get done. But So Outlander bookmark by House Elf Stitchery on Etsy. This is on a scrap piece of fabric from another whip. It just kind of worked out perfectly. It's 32 count linen, so yeah, there you go. All right. Last project I have out right now from my goals list, and the one that I am currently working on this moment, is Sweet Pea by Nora Corbett. And I don't have the finishing, I don't have like the finished picture over here with me, and I'm not gonna go get it, but here's where I am. I scrolled the rods down a little bit more last night to try and get the entire image accessible. So I think it's gonna be close down here with her feet and some beading, but I think I've pretty much got like all the real estate here open. So I would like to get her beaded on the frame. Usually I'll bead in hand, but I did some of that beading on the chatelaine on the frame and just really liked it. So see if I can get that done while she's on the Amanique. But last night I got her bouquet of flowers finished and these little tendrils put in. You can see the gaps where beads are gonna go. And then I started her hand 1/1. This is probably gonna be the last lady that I do 1/1 skin on because it's giving me a headache. And I'm not sure if I maybe need to update my prescription, or if it's the lighting, or maybe it's the skin tone on this color fabric, which is beautiful, by the way. I don't know, but yeah, I noticed it was giving me a headache, so this might be the last time I do 1/1 skin. I did it before on my Mermaids of the Deep. It looks absolutely gorgeous, but at the same time, is it worth it? You know, is it worth suffering with a headache for? So, yeah. Anyway. Sweet Pea, she's precious. I love her colors so much. This is 32 count opalescent Belfast in the color Fresco by Picture This Plus. It's gorgeous fabric. I think the pairing with her is perfect. It's kind of a very light dusty pink with some grays, bluish grays overlaid into it. It's beautiful. So there's Sweet Pea. My goal for her is to get her done by next weekend. So I'm hoping I can film another video next weekend and have another finish. I really have no excuse because I'm home for the next 2 weeks. All this COVID-19 stuff going on has shut down pretty much, with the exception of like public, like grocery stores and restaurants and small businesses. Like pretty much everything's closed around here, and I live just south of Dallas-Fort Worth in Texas. So yeah, my husband and I are both teachers, so we are home with our kids for 2 weeks, which is great. It's an extension on our spring break, so really we're going to have been off for 3 weeks. It's a little weird, but you know, if that's the part that we play, you know, to keep everyone around us safe, then we'll do it. We'll stay home. I believe the buzzword going around is social distancing, aka quarantining. So hi, Evelyn. Yeah, Evelyn's been on the computer. She was working on her home row skills for typing. So.
Don't talk about me.
If I've ever seen a child with an awesome work ethic for school, it is that one right there. I never have to tell her to come home and do her homework. She just comes home and gets it done. So, yeah, I did get out and go to the grocery store this morning, and I'm glad I went when I did, because I noticed that it was getting a little bit busier as as I was there. And I was able to get most everything that I went for. The only thing that I could not get was sliced bread, ramen, rice, beans. Those are still cleared out. And I was hoping by today that they would have gotten some things restocked and kind of a sense of normalcy had kind of returned, but there were some things that were still out. And it's just really frustrating because, you know, I never had the intention of going and stockpiling. I don't understand that. I mean, I guess if it were like, you know, the end of the world, maybe I would view it differently. But, you know, if we're just quarantined for 2 weeks, there's just no point in like bulk buying. Like, I don't get that. Like, you know, especially someone my age, you know, late 30s, and I just have 2 kids, like, you know, why not just buy what we need and, you know, save some for not only just other people, but really the most vulnerable of our society, which are the elderly. So there's been a lot of selfishness going on around here. I'm sure you've seen it in your neck of the woods. It's unfortunate. Some people, it really truly is selfishness. Some people, it's just panic. And I, you know, when I was at the store today, and my husband last night, he said he saw people in masks and gloves. You know, I saw a couple people today in gloves, but no masks today. But I did see a little bit of bulk buying. But for the most part today, it was people just trying to get to the store with the same plan that I did, just buy what we needed and hope that normalcy has returned. So it's a little crazy, but anyway, I went off on a tangent. Sweet pea, I'm hoping to be done by the end of this week and hopefully have a finish to show you. So those projects are all on my 2020 finishing goals list. Now, I did get out a Stitch in Time by Heaven and Earth Designs to kind of sprinkle in something a little different. Like, full coverage just is different, and it is a nice change of pace when you need it. So got tons of parked threads here. Here is where I currently am at. I'm working on this lady sitting down with her stitching right now. And then the roses, I'm kind of working up here and then working my way down. So this project, oh my gosh, I love this project so much. I love the colors. Like, Amy Stewart, just, her colors are phenomenal. And those of you who grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, like I did, you know, I'm sure you were all into like the Lisa Frank stuff. And that's what Amy Stewart reminds me of, is like our modern day Lisa Frank. So I just can't get enough of her art. So I love this project. It is super confetti heavy, and you know, there are moments where I literally just want to like overturn my frame because I get frustrated. But you know, when I take a step back and I look at it, I'm just like, okay, it was worth it. So yeah, Stitch in Time. 25 count, I don't know if it's antique white or white Lugana, 25 count Lugana, 1/1 full crosses. So. Okay, that is what I've worked on. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure the camera is not cutting off on me again. So if you see me squinting at it, that's what I'm looking at. Okay, so I have a stitch along announcement to make. I've posted and said things about it on Instagram, but if you are not on Instagram, then this will be the first time you're hearing about it. Stephanie, Miss Oslo Crafty, and I are doing an Aries B-Day Sal. So on IG, the hashtag is hashtag Aries B-Day Sal. And it's going to run from March 21st to April 19th, 20th, somewhere in there. The astrological time slot on the calendar for the Aries sign, because that's what we both are, being April babies. So we are going to both be starting Cathedral Woods Goddess. I showed this in my last video, but this is what we're going to be starting. If you have this pattern and you've been thinking about starting it, then by all means jump on in with us. And if you post anything about it, tag it with the Aries B-Day Sal. I would love to see your progress. If you A, don't have this one, or B, don't like it, so that's perfectly fine. Jump in with another fancy lady. So another Mirabilia, another Nora Corbett, another Lavender and Lace, another Bella Filipino, another Passion Ricomo. I know Dimensions has a couple of ladies. Joan Elliott, like, yeah, jump in. So fancy lady, essentially. This is just the one that Stephanie and I are doing. So, yeah, so March 21st is when that starts. My fabric should be here on Monday. I ordered a couple of pieces from Seraphim Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Lori. So one of those is meant for this project, and another one I just got because it was really pretty. I went to the Stitch Niche, which is my local needle workshop in Arlington, just about 20 minutes from me. I went up there last weekend to get the beads for her. And I think I got all the beads I needed. They were out of a lot of the Krennics that I needed, and they were out of one of the water lilies that I needed. So I'll need to order those. Kind of waiting until I can get paid, but I did get the beads. So there's this color. There's this color. There's this one. There's these. There's purple. This is one of the Krennics. It's gorgeous. There's two other colors. I'll need to order them. And this is one of the water lilies. So I'm not sure. This is one of the water lilies. This is 060 Slate. So there's one more that I'll need to get. But anyway, yeah, so I'll be starting that. That will be my first start of 2020. Excited about her. And while I was at the Stitch Niche, because I had some Christmas gift card money still left to spend, I got a few other things. So, staying with the Mirabilia theme, I did purchase Enchanted Mermaid. Let me take her out of the package. It's very rainy outside today, very gloomy. I'm waiting for the storms to start coming through pretty soon. So I did get Enchanted Mermaid. She is probably hands down my favorite Mirabilia ever. She's absolutely gorgeous. The only drawback to this one is, well, you could look at it either way. You could look at it as a drawback, or you could look at it as a total pro. I don't know, but she's really expensive. She's got 24, 26. Yeah, she's got almost 40 individual treasures on her. 40. Like, it's insane. I think to buy all of those treasures and the beads, it's over $100 easy. It's crazy. But I'm not gonna let that deter me. Now, I don't need all of those in order to start her, so I'm kind of collecting them over time. So while I was at the Stitch Niche, I got what they had. So I got the white beads. I got these little blue treasures. I think I need like 10 of them, so I need 6 more. And then I think I need like 9 of these, so these little bicones. So I got what they had. So I think, you know, kind of as I order things from 123 Stitch, I'll just kind of pop a couple of those things on the order and just collect them over time. Eventually I'll be there. So. And then the last two things I got from the Stitch Niche, I got Wisdom, Winter Wisdom from the Songbird series by Cottage Garden Samplings. I have Love, and now I have Wisdom. I want to get Faith, and I want to get Hope. I know there are more words, but I really have no intention of collecting the entire series. I just want the words that are meaningful to me. So Faith, Hope, Love, and Wisdom. And I'm also a sucker for anything evergreen. So this one really spoke to me. I'm not a huge sampler stitcher. I have a few samplers. It's just not really my style. I have a few, there are a few that kind of speak to me, but like, I'm not going to order anything from Market. Like it's just not really my thing. I'm going to forever probably be the Mirabilia Lavender Lace Fancy Lady Heaven and Earth Design Chatelaine stitcher. It's just me. And then the last thing I got at the Stitch Niche was a piece of fabric. This is 32 count Belfast from Picture This Plus in the color Nessie. It's this beautiful blue. Let me see if I can you see that? I don't know how green it's looking, or yeah, but it's a gorgeous soft light blue. I mean, it's just beautiful. And this piece was sitting on the bookshelf there. Like, it's a perfect, 18 by 27 cut. Now I can tell that they've cut from it because there's an unfinished edge, but I have a serger here at my house, so that's not hard to fix. But yeah, it was just a perfect piece of fabric just sitting there, obviously waiting for me. So snagged that. I'm always on the hunt for like mermaid fabric, and I think that fits the bill. All right, so that is Stitch Niche haul, aka Christmas gift card money spent. All right, so in the mail I ordered a few things. Some of this is still with gift card money, some of it is of my own. My family's disappeared. I don't know where they are. Okay, so I added to my Mirabilia collection. You saw Enchanted Mermaid. I had a few that I spoke about in my last video, and I've added 4 more since then. So here is Sun Goddess. Siren and the Shipwreck, which Luda is stitching her right now, and the tail is gorgeous. Like, pictures never do these designs justice. So when I saw Luda's whip, I was blown away. It's beautiful. Queen of Freedom. And Portrait of Veronica. And I already know that there's some changes that I'm going to make to her. I'm not going to do a color conversion. There's just some parts of the design that bother me, which is probably why I've held off so long getting her. But I think they'll be easily changeable. So yeah. Portrait of Veronica. I ordered, I'm really digging like the Russian kits lately. So there's an Etsy shop called Yarn Stories that lists a bunch of like Mereshka and other Russian style kits. And she happened, I scoured the internet trying to find this one, like what the name of it was, because it's posted in different areas under a different name. So tracking it down was tough, and actually it wasn't even this one, it was a different one that I fell in love with, but it is, I think, since gone out of print, and this is like the new one that came out, and now I think there's even a newer one in this particular format. But I did find a shop, Yarn Stories on Etsy, who carries it. So if you're interested in what you're about to see, then that's a good place to start looking. This is, and I'm sorry for the glare, if there's a glare. This is Victorian Promenade. Victorian Promenade by Andriana. So it is huge. It's 78 by 28 centimeters. So long, very, very long. It came with all the floss. It came with 16 count Aida, which I'll use for this. And then the pattern is in color. So some of y'all like that kind of thing. Some of you guys that mark on patterns, we'll need to make a photocopy, but yeah. So Victorian Promenade, I love the style of how the blending of the colors is done. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And I'm a sucker for a big project, so this was like right up my alley. Let me get this back in. No plans to really start it right now, but you know, things like that tend to come and go. So I wanted to make sure I had it before it disappeared forever, like the other one I liked did. All right. I got a piece of 25 count antique white Lugana, 27 by 36. This is going to be for Once Upon a Fairy Tale by Heaven and Earth Designs. I'm going to be starting it with my lovely stitchy friend Lorraine. She and I had a stitchy meetup last Wednesday. Yeah, last Wednesday. We met halfway between where we live. We're just a couple hours apart, so we met halfway and sat and looked at each other's stash and finishes and whips, and I think we were there for probably a good, I don't know, 8 to 10 hours, and I think we only stitched for 2 of those. So we have plans to start Once Upon a Fairy Tale in a couple of months, so that's what this is for. And then I posted about this on my Instagram, but my mother was a big cross stitcher when I was younger. She has since taken a long hiatus. She's been knitting, and now she's not even doing that. She's heavily involved with her church right now. So we had gone through her cross stitch stash maybe a year or so ago, and I have a bunch of it in this cabinet behind me, and I want to do a video about it just so y'all can see what's in there. But we stumbled upon this project, and she instantly was like, oh, I want to finish that. Like, I need to get back to stitching. Like, I want to finish that. I was like, okay. But if you don't, like, I can always stitch it for you. So time went on, and she had never, you know, we never spoke about it again. Until I brought it up a couple of weeks ago, and she was like, oh yeah, you can finish it for me if you want to. And so we ransacked the house essentially because she couldn't remember where she put it. We finally found it, and it is, get the chart out here, Mirabilia's Madonna of the Garden. It's out of print. It's not even on our website. There's like no words. It's just breathtaking. So she started it. I'm going to finish it. I have no idea when. I'm going to finish it. And then I want to restart it for myself on different fabric. But here's what she has done. I have no idea what fabric this is. It's probably a 25 count because that's what she liked to stitch on. So it's going to be huge. But beautiful nonetheless. And then I would like to restitch it on a fabric of my choosing. So, Madonna of the Garden. It's Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm excited about that one. Okay. That's what I have for you. The rest of the day will be getting some house projects done. We're wanting to move, so we're hoping to list our house here pretty soon. Getting some house projects done. I've already been to the store, and I'd like to stitch today. So, yeah. I think that's it. So if you are a new subscriber or a new viewer, please hit the subscribe button. Would love to have you join my little corner of the internet. If you have been with me for a while, thank you so much for your loyalty. I know that these videos are not nearly as regular as some other floss tubers. But you know, we all live different lives and we all have different stitching schedules and time allotments. So thank you for sticking with me. If you have, it means a lot. And don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, leave comments. I love feedback. Any questions, I always try to answer them in the comments. Or if you want your questions specifically addressed in a video, then let me know and I'd be more than happy to do that too. So again, you can follow me on Instagram at running.stitch18. I am very active there. So if you don't want to wait, if you can't wait for a video and you want to see what I've been working on, it's most likely going to be posted there. So anyway, stay safe, stay healthy, stay quarantined, and stay stitching. So I will see you guys in the next one.